So, Dr. Elnahal, how is the VA preparing to provide timely health care to newly enrolled veterans while still taking care of the folks who are already enrolled?
It's a very relevant question, Mr. Chairman. It's something we're thinking about every day on the healthcare system side. I'll ask Tracy in a minute, Ms. Thera, to go through some of the hiring authorities that the PACT Act affords us and how that will increase our roles. But that is first and most important way that we need to build capacity. We simply need enough clinicians and the folks who support them in our healthcare system to be able to tackle the increased demand that we expect to see, because that's what veterans deserve. We are also trying to, on top of that, make sure that we increase our productivity across the system. Our Office of Integrated Veteran Care is engaging in multiple efforts to do just that, one of which is actually standardizing our clinical grids based on specialty to have standard times on average that it takes to see veterans, depending on the type of care they are getting, and then hold our clinicians and leadership accountable for resourcing those clinics to be able to meet at least an 80% productivity standard in those clinics. We're also going to make sure that our network adequacy is where it needs to be with our community care network, knowing that we will need to rely on that to a degree to meet this demand. Ms. Thera?
Senator, thank you for that question, and we greatly appreciate all of the authorities in Title IX. There are 20 subsections in Title IX. Up to this point, we have implemented policy and guidance in 50% of those sections, with 70% targeted by the end of the year. We are implementing the Title IX authorities to support VHA and VBA with their hiring of the workforce that's needed to serve veterans in 4 waves. The first wave was to remove the restrictions on housekeeping aides. I'm pleased to say that in 90 days, we have increased our onboard rate by 3.2%, hiring over 700 housekeeping aides under this new authority in the last 90 days and strengthening our onboard capacity to provide clean and safe medical facilities. We also, in our second wave, are reaching out to college graduates and post-secondary students and increasing the student loan authority limits to bring in that next generation of talent to our VA workforce and our facilities. In the third wave, which is equally important to recruitment, is retention. What are we doing to recognize the amazing workforce that we have and keep them at the VA? So we have removed some of the restrictions on awards and bonuses, as well as increasing our limits on special contribution awards. And then the last wave that we just completed implementation is improving our systems. You are very familiar with the challenges that we have in hiring related to our systems, and we have made some enhancements which give greater visibility where things are in the hiring process so that we can move them along quickly. Our fifth wave is the competitive pay. Competitive pay is a challenge to make sure that we get the right VHA and VBA personnel, as well as OIT personnel and personnel throughout the department on board. So we have a lot of critical pay authorities, special salary rate authorities, incentives, and waivers of pay authorities to make sure that we have no barriers and limitations to getting who we need on board to serve veterans. And we greatly appreciate that help.